Hello everyone, I'm Roshni Banjari and today I've got my student Vishnu Uday Kumar. Hello Vishnu.
Hello.
Yeah, so Vishnu is from IS branch and he has cleared Eurofins and 2022 batch and he's got a package of 9.5, right? Yeah. So Vishnu, what was the eligibility criteria and what is the designation?
Yeah, so the designation was Associate Software Engineer, and they had a cutoff of 7.5 CGPA, and there were basically 3 rounds.
Okay, no, 7.5 CGPA in engineering and 10th and 12th any?
No, there was no such
Okay,
distinction.
alright. Okay.
Yeah, so
And what is your percentage?
I had 8.1 CGPA.
Alright, okay.
Right. So they were basically 3 rounds. So the 3 rounds included an aptitude round, which included logical reasoning, quants, and CS core. So basically 30 questions of CS core. That means data structures and algorithms, then operating system concepts like time scheduling, then some pseudocodes and some questions based on object-oriented programming. And then the 15 questions from quants included basic distance time, like one unknown will be given from speed, distance, and then upstream downstream problems, and logical reasoning, like a person is traveling north south and then you have to find the final position. Yeah, that was basically it. So we got like 60 minutes to do that. Overall I found like the time was enough for me to complete the round. And there were I found like the questions were not that difficult, around medium from computer science, and aptitude was easy, like quants and all was easy.
Okay, but then in the technical, could you just tell? How was what were they asking? Because even though you said it's easy, not everyone cleared, right? So that's
Yes.
why I want to understand. Because if it is easy, if it is all right, then I should actually get almost at least 50% clearing. But that's
Yes.
not the case.
Yeah, so data structures and algorithms, it was like they give a particular data structure like stack or heap, and then some logical question based on it, like if you have some numbers, you insert them, and then they ask what will be the output. They tell us to predict the output, and it was all MCQ. So it was, and then there were some questions based on sorting algorithms, where you have to predict after a few rounds what will be the status of the stack or memory. And similarly operating system like scheduling, so we just have to know the basic concepts. It should be really clear, but because they just go for that logical part where you should know the logic of a particular data structure or algorithm to predict the output.
Okay, but let me tell you, students, it was not easy because hardly around 15 cleared. Okay, in the first round, which is pathetic actually, because more people should be clearing it, because it is not as easy. Because when I have a lot of students who say it was easy, it was all right, but actually it's not. Because why? Because if your fundamentals are not clear, then you can't write it. Okay, and fundamentals, most of the students is not clear. So you tell me. So can you give more examples of the questions that they've asked, so that they understand? Because the main intention is the viewers should get an idea as to what sort of how are they asking.
Yeah, I got it. So there were some more questions like pseudocode, where they give not pseudocode, actually some C code snippet, where you have to know the basic principle of how some functions work, like printf or something. So you should know whether it throws an error or it will actually give an output, and if it gives an output, what it will be. So you should know like post increment, pre-increment, and all these kind of concepts. And yeah, as she told, fundamentals should be really clear. And since I was preparing from past 1 year for interviews, I did not focus much on the aptitude part like quants and logical, but I was keep on preparing for CS fundamentals. They did not go too much high level into object oriented programming, but you should know polymorphism and inheritance. So that was really important. Like they gave some Java code snippet where you have to predict the inheritance and how it will work.
Okay. So when you say that people can understand, or can you give an example so that it becomes even more
I
easier?
actually don't remember the complete specific questions, but it was like they gave a super class and a base class, and there is a public and private inheritance. So you should know which variables will be inherited to the subclass. So or it might throw an error. So you should tell it throws an error. Like it was all marked in the MCQ, but you should be really clear whether the inheritance is possible or not.
Alright, okay. So that was the this thing part, right? Because aptitude, I think more or less, that maths and all people clear, right? But it's only when it comes to
the good thing was it was more so focused on the CS fundamentals
Yes.
rather than aptitude, because some companies go for complete quants and logical in the first round and then goes for CS fundamentals. Here it was the opposite, like 30%, like 30 questions were from CS fundamentals and 15 from quants. So I personally felt that was better because I am not so good in quantitative aptitude.
Yeah. So then after that, what was the next round?
The next round was coding round. So the platform was First Naukri, even for the aptitude and coding round. So they sent us the link. It was just the next day. We were given the shortlist, and we have to log into First Naukri. And as soon as we log in, they give us like a basic brief of how the platform works. And I was given 30 minutes for 2 coding questions that were based on string manipulation. Like both the questions were based on string manipulation. I don't remember. I remember one of the question where you have a string given and you have to find out the repeating vowels in it. So if the vowels are concurrent one after the other, you have to ignore it. But if there is only one vowel between 2 consonants, you have to omit that. You have to remove it from the string and then print the string. So I use Python for one question and C for other. The total language options was C, Java and Python.
Okay.
So yeah, and it will be good if someone knows more than one programming language, but I feel C was enough to be like I use Python just for the sake of time, because Python we can code it really fast compared to C. But if one doesn't know, just being good with one language is more than enough, I feel. And as soon as we complete this round, I was able to complete both the questions within 20-25 minutes, but I was not able to pass one particular test case, which I was not able to do till the end of time. And then as soon as we complete that, there is another coding round just on the same platform. It directly redirects you to the second round, where you are given 60 minutes more and you have to do 3 questions. So these 3 questions consisted of, 2 of them consisted of matrix manipulation, where you are actually given, like one of the question was you are given a 5x5 matrix and you have to find saddle points. Saddle point meant it will be the highest in the row and lowest in the column for a particular row and column. So you just have to find that. I felt that was, as long as people know how to manipulate matrix, it was really easy to do. You just have to think about the logic. Once you come up with the logic, it's really easy to code. I use C for that. And there was another question on matrix manipulation, where you are given an n cross n matrix and you are supposed to find an m cross m, where m is less than n and greater than 0. So you are supposed to find that which has the greatest sum. So this I felt was an optimization problem in DSA, which takes a lot of time. As soon as I saw the problem, I realized it will take a lot of time for me to solve it. So I actually skipped the question. You can just go between any question in the coding round. You can switch between 2 different codes. You can, if you have done up till one point, it saves it and you can go to the next. Overall, the platform was really good, and it used to report any compile time errors or anything, because I have seen some platforms which don't actually report compile time error, and then you are actually scratching your head thinking how to actually come up with like what the problem is. So I skipped the question and went to the next question, the third question. That was again on string manipulation, where you have to concatenate different strings. I don't remember completely, but it was on string manipulation. It required a bit more knowledge about strings to actually do it. I did it on C, and then I went back to the second question. I was not able to completely do it. The rest 2 problems I was able to pass all the test cases, and I had like 10 minutes remaining for the question that I skipped. So I was not able to finish the question. So I was able to do 4 out of 5 questions in the coding round.
So how would you rate the questions in terms of difficulty?
None of them were hard, but I would say medium. You have to actually know string manipulation well enough to do all the questions. The first 30 minutes that I told, those string manipulation questions were, I would say, easy, because you just have to know how to store a string and remove some characters from it. But if you go for the next one, where you are given 60 minutes, you have to really good at strings, and as I told, matrix multiplication, you just have manipulation, where you just have to know develop a logic. So it was more so how fast you can develop a logic. Since I have been doing competitive coding for past 2 years, I did not find them difficult, but I would say if I did not actually prepare, it takes more time to come up with the logic if you have not prepared earlier or seen questions similar to that.
Yeah, so that means it is tough, right?
It is, yeah, it is tough. Unless and until you are coding for a long time, it it can be done, but the time will be the restraining factor. But once you are good with managing the time, as I told, I skipped the question. So as soon as I saw the question, I was able to evaluate its optimization based problem, and it will take time because I have done before competitive coding and where we are just given 1.5 hour or 2 hours of time.
What are the competitive? I mean, where are you doing all this?
Yeah, CodeChef is one of the platform where there is 3 contests. One is a long challenge that is for 10 days and 10 questions. Then there is a cook-off which is for 2.5 hours.
Which one?
Cook-off, like
Okay.
they have different
Okay.
names, and a lunch time which is for 3 hours.
Okay.
So they are all, you will get a rating actually on CodeChef.
Okay.
So like the most brilliant ones and the people who are able to do really good get 7. So it's like from 1 to 7 scale of rating. So 7 stars, 6 stars, 5 stars. So my personal best is 1729 score, that is 3 stars.
Okay.
So it actually prepares you for coding questions like this. But I would not suggest someone to just focus on competitive coding because it actually hinders your way you actually implement code. In a company, you don't actually just put some random variable and code it. You have to make sure the next developer that comes after you is actually able to adjust to the code. So it's good to have a like you give some focus to competitive coding just to clear those coding rounds, but you should also do some projects to understand how to actually code in a real life environment.
Alright. So after this, what was there? The next part?
Yeah, we were sent the shortlisted where 2 of us were shortlisted, and we had the techno managerial interview. That was there was a gap 1 day gap in between, and that was for 1 hour. There was only one interview. That was for 1 hour. So the interview was around 11 in the morning. So what happened is there were 2 interviewers. One was a manager who has 20 plus years of experience and a software developer who has 3 years of experience. So basically what happened is he was really good. The manager was really good. Like he was trying to make me comfortable. He asked me how was my day. Since it was just the morning, we had like humorous talk kind of thing. I was like, it's just the morning, I did not do anything much, just got prepared for this, and I was going through my CV. And then even I was trying to break the ice with him so it will be more comfortable and more informal rather than formal, like a casual talk, so that I can actually communicate what I want to him. And so I was also asking him related to where he is and whether it is work from home or he's in the office. So he was telling me it's work from home, and yeah, basically then he saw my resume that was with him, and this was conducted on Google, like Microsoft Teams, and he was seeing my resume and asking me questions related to the projects I did. So he went through, first he just read through all the 3 projects and he asked me like which one would you like to start with. So I was like, we'll go in the chronological order. I had set my resume in chronological order, so the projects I have done most recently were at the last, and the projects I have done like earlier were starting. I had only selected 3 projects and they were all of different types. Like one was web development, one was mobile application development, and one was a embedded programming based.
Just to interrupt, ideally it would be better you put your most important one at the top and then do it that way. You know, I mean, you could use any which way, but otherwise the most important which you feel is very important and the best of yours could be put at the top.
Yeah, since I had 5 or 6 projects, the 3 I chose were the important one to me. So I went in this particular.
And that also, you know, whichever way, because you know everyone has it, but in general,
yeah,
it's always
I would
nice.
also suggest that because the one you are more comfortable with and you know in depth, and you feel will be really important for that particular organization, you should put that on top so that they actually pick that and you can spend more time over the project you know rather than the project you just did for a while or you did long back. Since I was comfortable with these projects, I put them, and yeah, so my first project was based on C++, where I did embedded programming for a microprocessor. So since the interview at the start itself, he told he also started with embedded programming and C++. I was actually able to relate to him, and I was telling like you can relate to this project. So he asked me what kind of problems I faced during the project and how I was able to come up with the solution for it, and what he thinks I could have done better, right? And this basically went on where I just kept on explaining with a certain format that was like I read it in a interview preparation book that is called STAR. So you put a small detail about what the project is, the task that you are supposed to do, the actions that you took upon it, and the result you got out of that project. Then he went on for my positions of responsibility, and where I had mentioned about how I mentored my juniors for taking them for an event. So he was asking me how was the event, whether it was technical and all. So I was able to tell him it was a technical technical event, and we went like I was helping my juniors to come up with some real world solutions. And further I had done some mentorship for SSTs that is done within the college. It's an event for actually teaching like mentoring students from schools. And then we went on to technical questions that was taken by the software developer. She actually asked me 3 questions. One of the question was based on, they were all medium level, not as difficult as a coding round. They just wanted to see how I come up with the logic. I was not supposed to program the whole program, like the whole code. I just had to give them the logic and some code snippet out of it. So one was to find out different alphabets in a string. So I kept on communicating with her to make sure that what I understood from the question was the same what she wanted me to give.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, good.
Yeah, so actually she told alphabets and I took it as all the characters. So that's a different thing. Just finding alphabets from like English alphabets from a string and finding all characters are different. Even space is counted in that. So she was able to make me realize that I have to just go for the alphabets, not the whole characters. Similarly, she asked me a question on dynamic programming where you have to find Fibonacci series, and we are supposed to find it up to n numbers. And she told me the nth number will be really big, so how will you optimize it? Because just by doing recursive method, it won't be efficient and you can't do it for big numbers. So I told her a memoization based like solution, which she was happy with, and then she asked me a logical kind of a puzzle kind of thing where we are given 2 candles and 60 minutes like we have to find out when 45 minutes are done from burning the candle. So we are not given a clock. So first I told we'll just burn 1 candle and 1/4 is remaining, that's 45 minutes. She was like, no, you're supposed to use both the candles. So I was not able to come up with a solution. She gave me a hint where we can burn from both the sides. So that with that I was able to come up with the answer that we can burn from both the sides, 30 minutes will be done. Then we burn the second candle when 1/4 is like 1/4 is done, 45 minutes are done. That's it. Then they asked me whether I want to ask something or I want to convey something. So I just briefly explained about what my resume, why I made my resume the way it is, and so I was able to tell them that I have put different kind of projects just to show that I can work with different platforms and different technologies, because I feel as a software engineer we should be more keen about how to design a software rather than how to program it. So if we have knowledge of different technologies, it will be better than just one technology, because in IT field tomorrow like today you are doing on one particular technology, tomorrow it will be a different technology. So they were actually happy with that explanation that I gave about my resume, and then I asked them both about what they do on a day-to-day basis in Eurofins. So both of them were giving me their part of the day and how it goes on. Yeah, that's it. So by this time 1 hour was done.
Alright. So Vishnu, I think that went on good for you, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, overall I think you get a feel of it, because as you speak I think it went on well.
Yeah, the main thing was initially breaking the ice with the interviewer. Once I was casual and comfortable with them, we were really able to take the conversation wherever we want. I actually was focusing on the things I know better. Like when I'm explaining a particular project, I was doing the technologies that I know better.
Yeah.
So with that I was actually able to give good answers to them and they were happy with it.
Alright. Thank you Vishnu very much.
Thank
Bye from both of us.